mouth, better add the respect. Otherwise, pressure gon' be at your neck when I burn you like. This ain't a game, my aim is to throw. I'm much higher than you, like a rocket, a drone. I'm powerful, think of a stone, throw it off in my brain and I'm bad to the bone.
KDL Week 2 continues as we await our last match of the night. Another team match waiting for us, and this time it's going to be two amateur teams. It will be Desperado going up against FINALEe-sports.
Desperado, I feel like, has such a good entry lineup, given that it's an amateur team. They have Banana, which is a player we're all very familiar with, a very proficient ace, or not ace, but rather an item ace. And then Ghost, who is that ace match player who has shown us his potential in preseason 2, and now here in the official season. He played against Sungbin and he lost the ace match, but he still had a really good showing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that, again, with Ghost there, I mean, even if they get to ace matches, they still should always have a chance to get that victory. And so far, their records are 1-1, right? They did get that victory against NUTMITE and eventually fell to KWANGDONGFREECS. Let's see if they can recover another win. Meanwhile, on the other side, FINALEe-sports, another team with, you know, some very recognizable players, but they haven't been able to get that W on the board just yet.
And it's really surprising when you take a look at the fact that essentially this FINALEe-sports lineup was the previous Rocks from preseason 2. The only difference is Hong entering the lineup, and they were able to be the first place to finish off in the regular season, right? That's where they ended in the standings. But now to come into the regular season and be dead last, it must be a pretty disappointing start for them.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, this is kind of the remains of the old Rocks roster now regrouped under the FINALEe-sports banner, and that same success not returning just yet. You know, personally, I would say, you know, at the helm of it, you've got players like Ding and Dutzy who are known to be some good 1-2 combo players. We'll see if they can make that happen again today. And this time, they're talking about Banana. So there's actually a deeper play on words in Korean here, but if you say Banana in a sentence, you can kind of make it sound like, oh, have you fallen for me, right? Have you fallen for my charm? So just giving a little shout out to the spotlight of Banana, who is also the captain for this team of Desperado.
Yeah, I actually didn't catch that one, so good read there on the pun, Will. And Desperado, they're saying that they will win and head to the postseason. And honestly, that might happen. If you take a look at the results of the regular season so far, Finale, they could actually drop this game today.
Yeah, I mean, Finale, if they don't win today, I gotta imagine their hopes to even enter the wildcard match are kind of out the window. Yeah, I mean, you can see it, crisis-ridden FNL. Can they break that losing streak? They have to, absolutely. I mean, sure, we might have some really off-chance scenarios where you can get some round differentials, things like that, but you don't want to have to wait for that, right? You want to make sure you secure your own destiny into the top 5. I mean, top 3 already seems a little far-fetched for this team, but hopefully they can get there, and hey, they need to. I mean, a lot of frustration built up here for the squad of FINALEe-sports.
Definitely, they don't want to lose against Desperado. I feel like this is still one of their easier opponents. In fact, they've played against 2 professional teams so far. It was Seongnam Rocks and Live Sandbox they've lost to. So now, against the amateur teams, they need to at least prove that they are one of, if not the best amateur team here.
Yeah, let's take a look at the track so far. FINALEe-sports, they won the coin toss, so they bring out speed priority. And look at this. Tonight, it's all about the Construction Chaos Handy Harbor start as we see the 1-2 round once again as Finale picked up Construction Chaos. Starting at round 3, we go to Boom Hill Tunnel, Terracotta Twister, and then Winding Slopes. Actually, if we get there, it will be the first time, or the second time we're taking a look at Terracotta Twister tonight.
Yeah, we were looking at the tracks earlier, and you were kind of like, huh, is there a bug? Like,
yeah.
Is it a copy and paste? Because every single team today for round 1 and 2, they wanted that Construction Chaos and Andy Harbor. So I love to see that these tracks are becoming a very popular choice here in the regular season.
Yeah, okay, we have a student in the crowd. Finished their exams safely today, and they were here now in time to cheer on for Desperado. Let's see if it works as we go to Finale's track of choice. It's Desert Construction Chaos. And speed mode kicks off between Desperado and FINALEe-sports. We've got Desperado in red and FINALEe-sports in blue.
And the matchup is looking to be pretty even in the standings so far. No team getting a huge lead on the 1-2 like we've seen many of the professional teams do so far.
Yeah, now Woojin finally catching up to Ding to try to provide some support for FINALEe-sports. I mean, Ding was one of those players that when he was on Rocks during preseason 2, the entire team kind of just set him up to get in first place, hold on to first place, you know, and now and then Dutzy would also be one of those players that had that moment during the preseason. So it's good to see that both of these players, when they're given the opportunity, they will continue to stay in the lead, and a nice sweep out from Dutzy.
Yeah, in the beginning, it felt like it was pretty evenly matched, but Finale have such a nice lead right now that, but Free Sky, he wins against 2 players of Finale on that crash, and now Desperado does have more room to catch up in 3-4, but 1-2 is so far away.
Yeah, it did seem like maybe there was a bit of a comms breakdown between Dutzy and Hong, neither of them deciding who was going to play aggressively and who was just going to keep the line during those 90-degree turns. But alas, like you said, it's going to be Woojin and Ding so far ahead. For those wondering, of course, Woojin's face is going to look familiar. He used to go by Spell during the preseason. He now switched his ID to his actual name, Woojin. Still in the 1-2, still out of draft range.
Ghost and Promise, they are pretty much uncontested here. They're trying so hard to catch up to Ding and Woojin. But the thing is, without some support coming in and Ghost being able to catch up further to do some sweeping, there's no shot they're catching up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe your best bet, you go for a straight boost, try to knock out people in the 90-degree turns here, but even that, I think it might be just too far ahead, and Ghost actually just barely nicks the corner there, loses a lot of that speed, and now Promise and Ghost, they now have to deal with Hong once again. No aggressive maneuvers coming out. Promise will be able to keep the top speed, but it's not going to be enough. Ding and Woojin way out of draft range, and unless they somehow crash into the wall here off of the jump, they should be able to finish this race safely, as we see FINALEe-sports leading 1-0 with a clean 1-2 finish.
That was indeed a clean way to show us our first round of speed here from Finale. They said they want to vent out some anger, and they surely did that, because as soon as the track started actually getting to the middle stages, Finale, they developed a clear 1-2 win strategy, and it felt like Desperado was playing catch-up the whole entire time.
Yeah, and we see Dutzy just with a nice little smile towards the camera. Of course, the pose for Finale coming out on that victory. This is the type of performance I think a lot of the fans of individual players on Finale would have wanted to see coming into the regular season. We'll see if they can keep it up during speed mode tonight against Desperado.
Finale, if they beat Desperado, that is going to be a huge sign of switch in the momentum so far, because Desperado, I feel like out of all the amateur teams, have had one of the strongest showings so far in the regular season, but to drop a match against Finale would be a complete shift of that as we get ready to enter track number 2. Chosen by Desperado, it's Village Handy Harbor. And in we go into the speed round 2. This is another track where if you get a lead early on, it can be incredibly hard to catch up. So the fact that Finale is holding this 1-2 is a great sign. Not only that, Woojin and Dutzy, they're winning midfield.
Yeah, I mean, part of that reason is, again, these shortcuts are so
Ghost.
narrow, and Ghost actually is able to maintain some speed to get through, but thankfully for FINALEe-sports, Woojin was there to recover that second place right away, so alas, Desperado not able to actually make any standing changes off of that scuffle in that second shortcut, and Ding, once again, he's just playing time trial. He's way far out front, and another aggressive play from Desperado forces Hong to take too sharp of a turn on that shortcut.
But fortunately for FINALEe, they have two players way far in the lead, especially Ding. You can't even see his player tag at this point. This 1-2 looks really hard to stop.
Yeah, but if they can get up to Woojin, if they can actually break off the 1-2, the point system might come into favor of Desperado, because that midfield promise and free sky. Let's see if they can continue to put on some pressure onto Hong. Hong trying to do his best to catch back up as well. Now in the last lap out of 3. No one able to take any aggressive turns on the outside with a boost, so everyone just gonna have to try to fight their way through the shortcut. Striker trying to get that draft right off the shortcut, working with his teammate Ghost, but Ding is just too far ahead, and so is Woojin just outside of draft range, and Ding and Woojin with another 1-2 finish for FINALEe-sports. They now lead 2-0 in speed mode.
It's all about FINALEe here today in speed. They're looking so confident, absolutely feeling themselves. Both round 1 and 2 was a 1-2 win for FINALEe. And on top of that, they didn't even allow Desperado to get in drafting range.
Yeah, this was a rough one, right? I mean, this is as straightforward as it could have been. Despite there being some very aggressive plays coming out from the players of Desperado, they did what they could to try to just break apart the midfield of FINALEe. But it came down to Woojin actually, within that first lap, breaking through that second shortcut amidst some of those crashes and saying, you know what, I'm here to recover second place. Ding, you just do your thing. Get there in first place. We'll keep the 1-2. And now it is a clean 2-0 lead in speed mode for FINALEe-sports.
And this third track we have coming up is another track picked by FINALEe. So Desperado, they have quite a tough road ahead if they want to win the set in speed. And now we are ready to get right into it. The track is going to be Village Boom Hill Tunnel.
A single lap track here on Boom Hill Tunnel. We'll see if FINALEe-sports can get the clean sweep in speed mode and lead this match 1-0 in set points.
Yeah, and we're seeing so far Striker, he's trying his best to keep the members of FINALEe back, but the 2-3-4 being held by FINALEe does look really strong. We have Ghost not too far behind, but not enough to be on the camera.
Yeah, Ding's been playing quite aggressively, and he does force Striker just ping-pong back and forth within the track, and he's going to lose a lot of that top speed from those crashes. That allows two members, Dutzy and Woojin, to stay in that 1-2. Ding now playing the sweeping role in 3rd and 4th place.
And we see Promise, he's making sure to keep that 1-2 contested. He takes that one with a nice maneuver on his line there, as we see the midfield very hotly contested right now.
Yeah, a 1-4-6-7, giving them just one singular point ahead of FINALEe-sports, but it's gonna spell a little trouble if they lose any of these placements. Ding is doing his best to pressure that. He knows he just needs to break apart that 4th place.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Woojin actually gets far ahead. FINALEe, a little bit of a crash amongst themselves, but they recover. Dutzy still able to make the shortcut as well. Woojin so far ahead, but it's just a single point difference. No, the crashes all come through for FINALEe-sports, but they recover as everyone has crashed off of that second jump. What is this? It's still going to be that 1-2 finish for Woojin and Dutzy. That's a clean 3-0 for FINALEe-sports.
A clean 3-0 in terms of score, but boy, was that track a clown fiesta, because near the end there, everyone was colliding into each other because they all wanted to get into that 1-2 positions. But in the end, it was FINALEe that was able to come out on top.
Yeah, I want to imagine that it was somewhat of a calculated play here coming up from FINALEe-sports. You know, they were able to just say, okay, we're all bunched up, but we still have the lead. So if we just force everyone to have to clump together on these jumps, as long as 1-2 are not entirely lost and they can recover, or you know, maybe someone in 4th able to shoot far forward, and that's exactly what happened. 3 members from FINALEe-sports still landing safely off of that second jump. One of their teammates becoming the sacrificial lamb. Good comms coming into play for FINALEe-sports as they have a clean sweep. And now we see the item aces coming in for this next part.
Banana's going to be swapped in for Ghost, and Desperado, when it comes to item mode, they have shown some strengths. Unfortunately, they lost against KWANGDONGFREECS in item, but it is the Freaks after all, so you can't really knock too much points off them there. Meanwhile, FINALEe-sports, they've also had a pretty nice item mode, we would say, item mode result, that is, against Seongnam Rock. So I feel like this item mode is going to be really evenly matched between both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Desperado so far, I mean, they have had a win streak just within item mode, right? It was a much tougher one against NUTMITE 3-2, but As you mentioned, they do have that 3-0 victory against KWANGDONGFREECS, which did allow them to get to that ace match eventually. So Desperado, they're feeling quite confident under the helm of Banana, as you see on the camera here. Not only is he the item ace, also the captain of the team that kind of gathered this combination of rosters. And these are the tracks he selected for his team, starting things off on Graveyard Cemetery Circuit.
Followed by Polar Halfpipe as well as Venice Gondola Tour. I feel like I've seen that Gondola Tour as a popular option for round 5 quite often these days, whereas Finale, they took My Mother Load and London Night, so very classic picks that we're used to seeing from the preseasons.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit more opportunity for some of these timing plays, the combos with something like the Magnet and the Boost on both of these tracks. Meanwhile, Desperado bringing us to a 3-star right off the bat on Graveyard Cemetery Circuit. See if they can make use of some of those new items. Oh, some fans cheering for a speedy recovery for Woojin. I think he's kind of getting the start of a cold, so hopefully he can recover from that. But right now, we get into item mode. It's going to be Graveyard Cemetery Circuit.
And in we go into item round 1 here. This is going to be a 3-lapper track, and just as you pointed out, Will, it is a 3-star difficulty 1, so we will have the scanners, the big bananas, and the sirens.
Yeah, and of course, we have a couple of these jumps here for these shortcuts on this track. So, you know, some of these spin outs, some of these attacks, they could come out on a very solid timing, making sure that you can keep the lead and the tempo. As we see right there, right? Even if it's not an attack on you yourself, you're trying to dodge him and you lose that speed, can't make the jump, then you'll have to reset.
The offensive items are double effective here when you time it on the moment your opponent decides to go for that jump, which is why Cemetery Circuit can be a very hectic track to play on. But Hong, he's not in for any of that chaos. He has a humongous lead right now.
Yeah, we can barely see him on the minimap, and actually a Guardian Angel and a shield. He's got that big banana, so that'll be waiting for us somewhere along the track here. And this is just, there it is. It's pretty massive, blocks off half of that track. And the water bomb, of course, covering almost the entirety of the track. So Hong finally gets caught up on, but he will start to escape once again.
Yeah, fortunately, Hong, actually, unfortunately, he got set back quite a bit there, and now Ding is taking the lead. He doesn't have any defensive items, but he also doesn't want to cycle through the Magnet and Boost right now, so this is an opportunity for Desperado to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Ding, this could be one of those times where he kind of holds on to that combo as long as he's in contention for first place, right? He will use the Magnet just to slow things down because he has another teammate in Dutzy who's got the Siren and the Boost. Trying to just catch up, more attacks ready for Dutzy, but he falls far behind thanks to that Wisp.
And you can see Banana, he's holding onto a Lightning all the way in the front, so I'm sure he'd be happy to give off that lead so that he can fall behind and pick up more items that helps out the team. We can see Promise and Free Sky trying to get over there to help out Banana in that department.
Yeah, Guardian Angel on both sides as well, so both teams just trying to wait to make sure that they use it at the most opportune time, and this time it's going to be Desperado, and they block it off. Meanwhile, Ding does not get the Guardian Angel for the Lightning Bolt. It was used just a bit earlier by FINALEe-sports, just trying to keep the tempo. He gets a shield just in time. Ding, another EMP as well. Should a UFO or Magnet come through, he will get spun out, but he's still far ahead.
And we see right now, they have so many water bombs in the inventory of these players. No good uses for the EMP, but the water bomb was huge.
It's a massive combo, and Ding not able to recover the speed as he bumps around against the gravestone. The striker, he gets spun out, but he will still be able to cross the finish line first. The absolute water bomb combos coming out with a massive AoE attack towards the end of that third lap.
Desperado really showing us why this is the item mode team right now. They are having 2 set wins in item, not having a single set loss, so they feel very comfortable. This is like the fish in the water moment for them.
Yeah, I mean, they looked very solid, despite, you know, Hong or sometimes Dutzy being so far ahead. They were constantly able to just save up these items and make sure they were kind of rapid firing their attacks, so Guardian Angels and Shields just would not be enough. The timing would be hard to match, and they're able to keep that tempo, regain it towards the very end. You know, Striker crossing that finish line in first. If Desperado if they can get another item mode win, they'll take us to yet another ace match.
Yeah, that's definitely what Desperado wants to do for themselves here. They've had an ace match, and Ghost is definitely a scary player to go up against. As you can see, Banana, he's very concentrated right now. You don't want to give Banana a big banana. We'll see if he picks a one up here in round 2 of item in Mine Mother Load.
Round 2 begins as Desperado in red leads 1-0 in the item mode. However, FINALEe-sports already have that speed set win, so they're looking to close things out in item mode.
And this is going to be a 3-star difficulty track, so we're going to see a lot of chaos play out. Already we see a great usage of that water bomb to begin with, and Promise picks up that siren. He's going to use it right away. Yeah,
I mean, it's so narrow, this entire track. The water bombs cover the entirety almost all the time. That means sirens are also going to guarantee at least 1, if not 2 attacks when you're trying to go through some of these sections. And again, Free Sky, another good attack against the enemies of FINALEe-sports. So Desperado just keeping that tempo in favor.
You see Banana, he's holding on to 2 shields, so he's going to be able to absorb a lot of attacks. In fact, Promise also has an Angel to protect Banana if needed. However, the UFO, there has been no response to that, so Hong's going to be able to take first place.
Yeah, Hong is going to be able to dispel that UFO as well with the EMP from his teammates, so still keeping that lead. He is alone for the time being. Eventually will let Promise pass. Promise now with a lot of defense in both the shield and the Guardian Angel. We'll see if that's going to buy him enough time. Scanner as well should be able to take a look. Just waiting until they pass a couple more item boxes, it seems, to cycle through that.
Yeah, not the ideal item you want to get if you're in first place, but he popped it nonetheless. And unfortunately, that bomb is going to connect. Promise choosing to not use the Angel for that. He wants to save it for bigger opportunities.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hong actually goes around the long route just to cycle through a couple more items, but that does mean Promise gets a bit further ahead. Able to keep that top speed as Hong had to avoid the barricade. Finally, the attack's coming through. Promise, he's still holding on to that Guardian Angel.
Yeah, he really wanted to save it, but now he's going to pop it. Striker needs to play the catch-up now. He's holding on to a shield, so he needs a teammate to target Hong down.
Yeah, we see scanners coming out, and that's going to be pretty crucial in the 3rd lap as you start to see if any items have been saved up. Ding with a nice siren against Banana. That's going to put him far behind, not able to provide too much support with any potential attacks in the future.
And Hong, he's holding onto shield right now, but Striker does have a magnet in his arsenal. So with no EMP around, I feel like Striker has a pretty good chance here to turn things around if needed.
Yeah, they also have a UFO as well, so they can have a double team going on here. Yeah, the UFO comes out, the slowdown doesn't happen, but Striker, he's going to have to regain control after that Guardian Angel. The magnet comes out in time. Is it going to give him enough speed? It does launch him forward as he spins out, but the momentum is there. Physics in favor for Desperado as they lead 2-0.
I was a tad bit worried there when Striker, he turned around and it seemed like he might not even have the time to use the magnet, but he was able to recover just in time, and the boost being enough despite being targeted out and, you know, spinning from the attack. That was a really sick turnaround from Desperado.
Yeah, great plays coming out. And Striker once again bringing home that item mode victory in round 2. They are now 1 round away from bringing us to an ace match between Desperado and FINALEe-sports.
Well, it would be pretty interesting to see what happens if Finale goes 3-0 in speed, Desperado goes 3-0 in item. Who wins in the ace match? You want to give that favor maybe to Finale, but right now we're going to hold that thought. Take a look at the replay.
Yeah, so the rocket actually comes out, and the Guardian Angel is a second too late, so Striker spins out, but he's still able to magnet right before he, dodges that barricade, still rides the railing just long enough to gain that momentum. Still gets hit by a rocket, but the momentum is there, just slingshot him forward, and that's how they get that round 2 victory. Finale, a lot of thoughts on their mind. They had such a good run in speed mode. They would love to be able to close things out before going to an ace match.
Well, Finale, definitely, if they want to avoid an ace match, it's going to be a tough task ahead. They need to win 3 rounds, and that first start needs to start here in round 3 in Glacier Polar Halfpipe. In we go to Glacier Polar Halfpipe. This is going to be a 2-star difficulty track, so we'll see the players rely on more things like boosters to get up on that ramp.
Yeah, we just saw it in the player cams right off the bat. Both item aces in terms of Plansy and Banana just shouting out orders right off the get-go. So clearly some ideas in play on how they want to set up for the entirety of this race here on Polar Halfpipe.
As we see Ding, he's going to have a nice lead for himself to start things off because he made it onto that shortcut, and he has a shield and a magnet, so I feel pretty good about Ding's inventory right now. In fact, Dutsy also has a Guardian Angel, so FINALEe off to a great start.
Yeah, so he will get spun out, but this is why he kept that magnet, right? If he does fall behind, he still has something to not only get ahead, but also deter the potential tempo of Desperado. Ding just going to eat that water bomb. Unfortunately, no way to dodge that from the center of the track. And attacks just being cycled through. Meanwhile, look at everyone holding onto these boosts because it can be so handy to get up onto that shortcut that gets you just a bit extra speed and tempo here in the middle of the track.
And Striker is going to do just that along with Banana. They have a very big advantage right now, and FINALEe, they have Hong with the magnet, but not too many offensive items besides the bomb.
Banana with a nice stop as well, shields himself from the water bomb, making sure he doesn't lose that tempo. And now we see Striker so far ahead. He is just going to cycle through both EMPs, and what does he get in return? Just 2 bananas, not exactly what he was looking for. Gonna have to cycle through another set of items.
Yeah, he's just going to pop those right onto the ground because he doesn't want them, but that water bomb I do feel is pretty huge. Plansy, he doesn't have a nitrous to get up on that shortcut, so a lot of that pressure is now on his teammates to get in the lead.
Yeah, Hong also holding on to a magnet boost as well. He's actually going to use one of them right now that uses the magnet, now just the boost left over. Dutsy, meanwhile, in first. He took the shortcut. He is going to get hit by that Wisp. No way to block that one. Gets out of it pretty quickly, but Banana is in the lead. Now only 500 meters left. The water bomb right on perfection as it stops Banana in his tracks. Dutsy, he does not have any defense, but Free Sky gets to shield a second too late. The water bombs come out, and Hong, he's able to dispel the UFO, gets bumped for by his teammate, and they will cross over the finish line. FINALEe keep their hopes alive of closing things out as they bring the score up 1-2 in item mode.
Banana was able to clutch it for FINALEe there. The way he played near the end of that final lap was the key for FINALEe to catch up, and they were able to win in such a dominating fashion near the end. Although you don't need a 1, 2, 3 for an item, it still feels good.
Yeah, I mean, just able to throw that water bomb all the way up front. Banana was actually well in front for a Desperado, but he gets hit right around that corner. And FINALEe-sports, they start to shoot forward, and it's going to be, you know, Hongs with the boost. You have a couple other players coming up with shields, other attacks to keep other players of Desperado behind. Just perfection of team play. And yeah, you see it on Banana's face. It feels bad because if it wasn't for that single water bomb, things would have looked different.
Yes, that is what happened. Unfortunate events there for Banana. Man, that was such a crazy near the end there that I honestly think I swapped up the players. That's how crazy item mode can get in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of attacks. It's a lot more just tempo play, timing attacks, combos, right, to make sure you can't just try to double shield up, things like that. So down to the wire when it comes to item mode here in the regular season. We now get to see round 4. This was FINALEe's pick. We return to a 2-star difficulty map when it comes to World Tour London Night. And Desperado, they would so desperately want to get to an ace match if they can close things out in a 3-1 here. Otherwise, it comes down to the wire in round 5. So, question is, Banana, the item ace, what does he have in store for this timing track of London Night?
Well, we've seen Banana throw us a lot of different strategies as he maneuvered around this London Night track. For now, it seems like he's just happy to stay in the lead, especially given that he's got the double shield so that he can absorb a lot of aggro for his team. Striker, he's holding on to a Lightning as well.
Yeah, I mean, Striker with a Lightning, might as well kind of keep that, right? We're not going to have those scanners coming out, so they're not going to have a good idea. So if you can maybe wait to get another one, because this is a 3-lapper, you can start to really set yourself up for the ending. And Striker now in first, just making sure he can cycle through that Wisp and keep that tempo in favor of Desperado.
Desperado certainly have the arsenal to back up that tempo right now. Promise having a pretty nice lead for himself along with a lot of defensive options, and Striker having that Lightning is going to force Hong to hold on to that Angel.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, you gotta imagine if you're on the side of FINALEe esports, you gotta start to wonder, okay, we're not seeing as many crazy attacks come out. What are they saving up for? What's going on? This is a bit of a timing track. Surely Magna boost on somebody, as we see the same thing for Planzy himself on FINALEe, but is there going to be a good answer for this Lightning Bolt? We do see Guardian Angels, but the question is how do you draw them out from each other?
Well, so far it seems like everyone's just trying to play it slow and try to keep their opponents guessing, because a lot of these high-value items are being held right now.
Yeah, Ding with a double boost up front, and now finally the Lightning Bolt comes out. It does draw out the Guardian Angel. Meanwhile, on the side of Desperado, they have their own Guardian Angels to make sure they can try to cross safely. Banana just going to try to boost forward, but he doesn't have any more momentum. These attacks have to land. He's going to defend himself, but Hong is still way far ahead. The rocket comes out. Can he reset in time? He's just going to make sure he gets out of the way for Dutzy. What a play on that reset. Dutzy able to maintain top speed, and that is going to be FINALEe esports tying things up in item mode 2-2.
We thought Desperado might be able to take a 3-0 here in item, but FINALEe, they take 2 wins, so now they're going to take us to that match 5. And honestly, it feels like all the momentum is kind of shifting over to FINALEe esports right now, that we might see FINALEe just taking 2 set wins here today.
Yeah, Desperado, I mean, they were running out of steam towards the end, right? They basically all had singular nitro boosts left. They didn't have any sort of combo with the magnet. They didn't have double boost right before the Ferris wheel or anything like that. So it was purely just a speed battle and hoping the wisps hit. And while one of the rockets hit Hong, Hong immediately goes for the reset so that he can get out of the way of Dutzy, and Dutzy's able to maintain control, and that can only happen if your comms are on point, as FINALEe esports just showed us.
And this final track is going to be another 3-star difficulty track, and it's chosen by Desperado themselves. You know, they didn't pick item priority, but it was more like given by FINALEe because FINALEe won the coin flip and they took speed, but that is certainly good news for Desperado.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the ending here. So you see Planzy, he does get stopped off. He actually eats the UFO, and while Hong's up front, he gets hit by the rocket, and you see the call. Dutzy says, hey, I have top speed. I'm going to take the close corner, just get out of the way. The reset is immediate, and that way the collision doesn't happen. Dutzy able to maintain that line. Meanwhile, his opponents took the wider line because they wanted to avoid the collision. I mean, this is just comms and mind games at the top level.
That's exactly what we want to see from FINALEe if they want to close off round 5 in their favor. The round 5 track is going to be World Tour Venice Gondola Tour. If Desperado wins item round 5, we go to an ace match. If FINALEe wins, it's a 2-0 set win. So let's see what happens in this very important match.
Yeah, I mean, especially for FINALEe esports, right? They had to start off their regular season against 2 pro teams of Sungnam Rocks and Live Sandbox, and they are currently sitting at a 0-2 record. This is a desperate win for them if they can close things out 2-0 in a clean fashion. Nice siren coming out from Banana on that timing.
Yeah, it was like he booped his banana into his, or not banana, but his booty into the opponent, and it just did enough to knock them out. That is the power of the siren. As Dutzy, he manages to take the lead back. He has plenty of defensive options, and Striker, he went for a spin but did not work in his favor.
Yeah, he tried to make sure he swept 2 players with that siren, but instead he actually hits the chair there, and the spin turn not coming out with the optimal speed. So he's fallen far behind, but it is item mode. He's got 2 boosts. He will be able to catch up soon enough.
And we see Desperado taking a lot of control back for themselves. Free Sky, he does have a ideal inventory for staying ahead with those double shields. In fact, Banana with the double angel, he's gonna choose to hold on to them.
Yeah, this was a very intentional choice. He didn't cycle through there. He uses one just to help defend, but they gotta make sure they're communicating well because Free Sky still has another shield. There is an opportunity to try to really just alternate the defenses here for Desperado, but no one else nearby, so Free Sky is going to have to hold on to things for as long as possible. Try to deny items on the way.
Yeah, and Free Sky is going to get targeted by the Water Wisp there. There's no defensive option available to defend against that. Promise now holding on to a Nitrous and an EMP. That could be a deadly combo.
Yeah, and what happened just now was Banana had a scanner, and they realized there were no strong attacks waiting for them on the side of FINALEe esports. So Desperado, they start to boost forward, and Promise is so far ahead. What a timing on that scanner to just give them a good idea. The big Banana coming out in front of the track as well. It's waiting for them right around the corner, and Promise, he denies the UFO. The Guardian Angel from his teammates as well. Still double shield, and he will give the victory pose as we see Desperado cross the finish line and bring us to an ace match between these two teams.
We were worried that Desperado, after dropping 2 games back-to-back in item, that the momentum might have been lost, but they show us that Desperado, they're able to focus despite some setbacks, and now they take item set 3-2, and now, as you said, Will, it is time for that ace match.
Oh man, FINALEe esports. This is not where you wanted to be. You just wanted to go home knowing that you had the comfort of a victory on the board. Sure, it's not over yet, but the pressure is on. So much more to lose on the side of FINALEe esports. I mean, sure, you can argue that Desperado, they haven't faced either Rox or Live Sandbox. They only played against Kwangdongfreecs so far. I guess also not MIRAENSEJONG either. So it is that FINALEe esports had a tougher start to the regular season. However, the 0-2 record is still not where you want to be.
Certainly not, as our teams discuss who will be the player to represent that ace match. For Desperado, it was Ghost performing against Sungbin from Kwangdongfreecs, and I feel like Ghost played pretty well, so there wouldn't be a reason to not send Ghost up here. Whereas for FINALEe, it was Ding last time playing against Looning in the ace match against Sungnam Rocks, and although they suffered a setback, I do think Ding will be able to turn it around with more chances.
Oh, lots of high fives to Striker here. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I was going to say I imagine Ghost is still the go-to, but obviously lots of things to consider, like the potential track that's coming up and also each player's condition for that day. Now, on the side of FINALEe esports, quite a few choices. Obviously, the go-tos would be Ding and then maybe Dutzy. It does look like right now Ding kind of giving a nod to his teammates and his coach, saying that, all right, we're ready to go. Trying to bring home that victory. He was not able to get it, as you mentioned, Peter, against Looning of Sungnam Rocks. Can he redeem himself if he is the one to enter this ace match?
I'm sure Ding is happy to be given the opportunity for redemption, and just as you said, Will, on the side of Desperado, we thought there might be a clear favorite, but based on the way the interactions happened just now, it's really hard to figure out who's going to be the opponent for Ding here, potentially.
Ah, we'll have to wait and see. What's the track going to be? It is Bayside Bridge Run, a 2-lapper, and obviously an opportunity for a little bit of an aggressive play, especially at the end, right? You kind of take that sidewalk, maybe go for a tighter turn or even a straight boost to knock someone out if you're behind. So a little bit of a mind game there on draft timings as we get towards the end of this race. Who is it going to be? We are going to see Ding coming out from FINALEe esports, and it will, in fact, be Striker for Desperado.
Well, it seems like the high fives were for Striker to be performing here in the ace match today against Team FINALEe, and to be able to beat an opponent like Ding on his ace match debut here in the regular season would be a strong showing for Striker.
Yeah, I mean, Ding's had some good successes in the past, but obviously off to a rough start here in the regular season. Can he redeem not just himself, but the career of FINALEe esports, trying to bring home that first elusive win? We find out as we go to Bayside Bridge Run. Ready, set, and go. Ding versus Striker in the ace match between Desperado and FINALEe esports. Striker winning out in a little bit of that mind game for the boost gauge up front. He's able to force Ding to take too sharp of a drift there, and Ding's going to fall behind for the time being. Catches up with the nice draft.
And you can see on the heart rate monitors that both players are very nervous right now. They're sitting at about 140 range, and it seems like both players are really focused.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Ding just trying to make sure. Ding actually tries to want to get into first place. It seems like he tried to keep the lead, but Striker's just not giving that opportunity. Striker just going for some of those swift cuts, trying to make sure he stays ahead and boosts, and so far it's worked out well for him. But Ding quickly regaining control of that boost gauge. Ding now in the position that he wanted to be. We saw how he played on top of that bridge to try to just get into the lead, and now he has it.
And he has also the better line right now, I was gonna say, until Striker came in with a very aggressive cut. Ding, he takes a collision, but unfortunately for Ding, it didn't send him back too much.
Yeah, Ding, I mean, I think he purposely stops on that as he's about to collide, making sure he lines up with Striker so he's able to boost forward off of that bump. Meanwhile, he's still ahead in some of that boost gauge as well, so he has just one extra tempo here against Striker. Now Striker trying to catch up, will be in draft range as they get onto this bridge. So Ding, it's now up to you. Do you decide to try to block as you are right now. Do you give it up? Go for your own draft towards the ending. Striker with what a block on that cut.
Yeah, Striker tried to go for an assassination play there, and it did work out somewhat, as now Ding, he's the one playing catch-up, but he does have a better maintenance on his boost gauge, and he has the draft range as well.
Yeah, he's got full boost right now. Striker knows this. He knows he has to just play for the blocks. Both of them going on the sidewalk. Ding, can he go for the aggressive play? No, he spins out a little too far. Striker is able to just absolutely cut the corner to perfection. Meanwhile, Ding, he tries to go for the straight boost, knocks Striker away while he's able to maintain momentum, and Striker says, nope, I'm just gonna cut the corner as close as possible and avoid that collision. What an ace match. Once again, victory going to Desperados. You can see how happy Striker is alongside his teammates. Meanwhile, Ding, one of the rising stars of the preseason, not able to find his success just yet here in the regular season.
This is the most awful ending you could have had today as FINALEe Esports. They are now gonna go 0-3 in the league standing. Striker, he is so happy to deliver that to his opponents here today. Now you have to worry when you go against Desperado in an ace match. You could go up against Ghost, or you could also go up against Striker, who's shown good form today.
Yeah, a really good form. I mean, the fact that Ding had full boost towards the later part of that track, and you can just see how much that hurt here for the team of FINALEe Esports. I mean, this is rough, right? They had such a good start in that speed mode. And you got to imagine Ding, so much pressure on him because he had so much hype behind him during the preseason. And for him to be given 2 opportunities so far in ace matches and not find success here, it's rough. And this one on Bayside Bridge Run, I don't know if you can really fault him. I think it's much more credit to Striker and how he was able to avoid that collision at the very last corner.
Exactly. Ding had all the advantage, we felt like, and Striker was the one more nervous to try to respond to his opponent's moves. But Striker did that perfectly and won the Team Desperado a ace match there. So now it's going to be Desperado taking the match win today overall through item and ace.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I guess I would say is, you know, Ding didn't have the great timing on being able to chain his boost, right? So that's why he also hops onto the sidewalk, tries to go for a bit of a straight boost collision. Because otherwise, sure, he could have taken the outside line, but he wouldn't have enough time for double boost. And so eventually Striker just reading the scenario so well, knowing what the exact win condition was, and he's able to take the tight corner, making sure that it's either straight boost or bust for Ding. And that gamble works out. Desperado with another win on the board. They now have a 2-1 record. A pretty decent start amongst these amateur teams, putting them in contention for a potential wild match finish in the regular season.
Desperado's certainly looking to be one of the best amateur teams in the league right now.
Yes.
It wouldn't be too surprising to see Desperado make it to a wild card match, if not even higher technically, because they only have 1 loss right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, right? Sure, again, they haven't faced up against most of these other pro teams, but hey, if they take down maybe one of them, right, and whether it's Sungnam Rocks, maybe MIRAENSEJONG, maybe even Live Sandbox, like you said, they could actually sit comfortably in top 3 going into the postseason. So a great start to the very first official regular season of KDL here for Desperado. Meanwhile, for FINALEe Esports, I mean, pretty much every match is now do or die, right? They have a 0-3 record, and it includes one of the amateur teams, so it's not looking like a bright future for them.
Yeah, the only bright future, just as you put it, Will, is that they do still have more amateur teams to go up against than professional teams. But we've seen today that even if you're a team as good as FINALEe, you can still lose to amateur teams. So FINALEe, they need to win every single match ahead of them now, so it's going to be really rough.
Yeah, it's funny just how much this kind of prep time all the players were given does for them, right? In preseason 1, we saw it and we said, okay, like 3 pro teams versus the other amateur teams, there's such a big gap. We really just kind of have to count them out. And then preseason 2, we started to see some players, you know, rise up with their own combinations. But now we're starting to say, okay, I mean, any of these amateur teams could on a good day take down at least 1 or 2 of these pro teams. So it's gotten a lot closer here in the regular season. But ladies and gentlemen, that does wrap up all the matches. So let's take a quick look to review how things panned out here on this Wednesday of team match nights here at the KDL. We kick things off with Sungnam Rocks versus MIRAENSEJONG.
And it was Sungnam Rocks there taking 3-2 victory in speed, and then MIRAENSEJONG, they fought back in item mode. It was looking really rough for them, but they were able to come with the miracle turnaround, taking us to an ace match. And Hojun was the one being victorious here today for his team, MIRAENSEJONG.
Yeah, Hojun just bringing redemption both to himself and the team. of MSJ, bringing home that first victory, keeping them in contention for a postseason finish. That also denies ROX Esports, Seongnam ROX, of a chance to try to catch up to Kwangdong Freeks early on in the season. But again, it went to that ace match, 3-2 on both speed and items, so that could come into play later on if we have to get into those round differentials.
Yep, that was a very exciting match to take a look into, but our next matchup here was against Kwangdong Freeks going up against NUTMITE, and it felt like Kwangdong Freeks, they were struggling a bit against their amateur opponents, but in the end, they were still able to clean it off cleanly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story of KDF, right? Sometimes we have some surprising moments, surprising tracks against these amateur teams, but at the end of the day, just being able to stay cool, calm, and collected, they're able to always bring home that W when it matters. And once again, they continue their clean streak 3-0 record so far in the very first season of Kart Rider Drift League. We'll see if they continue their success from all the preseason events to kind of, I guess, translate it into their very first trophy here in the KDL.
Yeah, on the other hand, NUTMITE, they are now 1-2 behind another amateur team like Desperado, so they have some catching up to do. And for our final match of the day, it was Desperado going up against FINALEe. FINALEe, after such a dominating win in speed, they were struggling in the item mode. It was Desperado leading 2-0. Then FINALEe came back with 2 wins of their own, but Desperado was able to clutch a match 5, taking us to an ace match, and Striker was able to take down a mighty opponent in Ding.
Yeah, a great ace match from Striker, I think, just goes to show that, okay, Desperado, a bit of a deeper pool than maybe some of us might have imagined from the get-go. And a dramatic fashion as well, right? I mean, you have this devastating defeat, 3-0 in speed mode. You're still able to not give up hope. Follow your leader in Banana in item mode, eventually bring it to that dramatic ace match. And now another extra win on the board. Desperado sitting very comfortably towards the middle of the pack. In fact, actually all the way up to 2 because they've actually played that extra match. Didn't really take into that account. So that means they're, even if we see some other results coming out from Live Sandbox in the coming matches, Desperado should still be very comfortably within the top 4 for the time being.
Yeah, we've had some teams here today playing their 3rd match of the season. It was NUTMITE, FINALEe, Desperado, and Kwangdong locking that in. You can see how different the results are for those 4 teams. 2 teams sitting all the way in the bottom, the other 2 all the way at the top, and it will be very interesting to see what happens in our midfield.
Yeah, Live Sandbox, MIRAENSEJONG, Seongnam ROX. I mean, these are some, the 3 other pro teams we have right now in the league, all sitting at a 1-1 record, and some of them still have to face off against each other. So a lot of shakeup in store. But the big question for me now is, Peter, Desperado, how much can they hold on to that lead? Because maybe they make some of these upsets against the pro teams, and suddenly the standings are completely different than what a lot of us expected.
And on top of that, their set wins look really good too, so I'm sure Desperado are feeling really happy about that one. But ladies and gentlemen, our next match is going to be on this Saturday. We're going to have 2 team matches featuring always Seongnam ROX, followed by MIRAENSEJONG going up against Live Sandbox, and then solo match Group C, round of 32.
Yeah, we see Striker there. He just had a great ace match performance. See if he can transition that into his solo match performance against some notable opponents as well, like Spear, Guard, Byung-soo. Cool is there as well, Knock, and this is a pretty stacked group. And of course, we'll get to that, but you have to get into the top 3 to guarantee yourself in the top 16. So this is going to be a very interesting night. Also, MIRAENSEJONG and Live Sandbox, 2 pro teams, 2 contenders for the title here in the very first season, now going up against each other, both with 1-1 records so far in the round robin.
And I'm also really excited to see how Team Always will perform here, because Team Always going up against MIRAENSEJONG on their first match of the season, everyone was kind of expecting MIRAENSEJONG to stomp it, but the fact that Always was able to win there, I really think they have high potential.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night when it comes to Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. We return on Saturday with team matches and solo match Group C. We'll see you then.
mouth, better add your respect. Otherwise, pressure gon' be at your neck when I burn you like. This ain't a game, my aim is to throw. I'm much higher than you, like a rocket, a drone. I'm powerful, think of a stone, throw it off in my brain and I'm bad to the bone.